I'm really excited about the Springfield Minority Business Institute. I spent the last 2.5 years listening to what minority business owners and nonprofit organizers say about what it's like to work with the city.
Yeah.
And that's it's difficult, or I didn't understand that I had to do this with a grant or that with a grant, like not understanding the basic terminology and the language. And I've also seen us turn around and say, well, it's your responsibility to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand accountability, but there's a more efficient and effective way that we can do this. And it's let's stop assuming that everybody knows just because you own a business or operate a business what it takes to be a really good business owner, what it takes to work with the city, how to understand all of these different terms, and let's just teach the people
Yeah.
and remove the barriers. Do it for free. How do we do it? You have to have community partners that have bought in. So the Springfield Urban League, the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce, UIS and Innovate Springfield, Ryan McCready over at the SSGA, Kevin Lust with the Small Business Council are all like, yes, what can we do? How can we help? What services can we offer?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and bring resources to the people and bring people to the resources. So in total, it's a 10-week program.
Okay.
Right, where every week we have 2 hours that are blocked off from 6:30 to 8:30 on Wednesdays, starting on February the 4th, where people who signed up who are minority non-profit organizers or business owners, whether you're a new business owner, established business owner, or you want to start a business and you want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row before you do it, can come in and learn week to week different things you need to know. So sitting with planning and economic development for a week and doing a grants 101, understanding what a reimbursement grant is, what's a 2575 match or a 1090 match. Like, hey, the city, if you qualify for this grant will cover 90% of the cost of whatever it is you need to do here. But you have to have that 10% capital up front that the city can match in order to do this. You need to know that before you apply for the grant and are awarded it. Hey, here's all the things that they're going to do to track, and make sure that you're in compliance with the grant. It's important. Hey, here's a week we're doing with building and zoning. Why is it important to do a week with building and zoning? Because we have business owners who get really excited and they'll buy a new property because it's in the area they want, it's the size they want, it's great. They'll have all these plans to roll out when you're doing, your launch and everything, but you didn't know to check what the zoning classification of the building was.
Yeah.
So then you find out later once you put money into it, hey, this building's not actually zoned for the purpose that you want it to be. And you're going to have to apply, and it's going to have to be reviewed, and that zoning's going to have to be changed. It's going to push back your launch time. Hey, there are renovations that you want to do to your building, but you didn't pull the permits from the city before you started doing those renovations. Okay, well, now you have to stop what you're doing, and you have to go back and go all the way through the process again. Well, now you've already spent time, you've already spent money. You might not be able to recover from a situation like that.
Yeah.
You would think, maybe you should know that you have to do these things beforehand. Well, why don't we just teach people that that's what you have to do instead of assuming that they know how to do it? Hey, there are benefits to being a part of the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce. Here are all of these local resources and all these networking opportunities that you'll have just by being members of the chamber. We have a lot of small business owners who are like, well, I don't see why I would need to be a part of that. Maybe that's because you don't really know what the benefits are.
Right.
Or you haven't met a Mike Murphy. Or as a minority business owner, you don't know that the president of the board right now is Miles Copeland, who looks like you, who you see around town, who you hear on the radios, who you watch Illini basketball. That's the voice of it. That's the guy you see.
Yeah.
It's important. Mike, it's important to have a minority CEO panel where I can talk to a Tiffany Mathis Posey. I can talk to a Miles Copeland. I can talk to a Teresa Haley. I can talk to a Dr. Marcus Johnson who looks like me and get the real on, hey, this is what I deal with every day. These are the hurdles that I've run into.
Yeah.
These are the spaces I operate in. These are things that I have to put my pride to the side for because of the mission and what I'm trying to accomplish. These are the things that I've had to learn. It's important. Hey, I need to know how to make my business grow. But I didn't know what Innovate Springfield was. I didn't know they had a small business accelerator. I didn't know that they have a program working with Google through how to use AI. and it's free for me to use, and here's the space to use it in. I didn't know what was going on in the Horace Mann building, and there's office space that I can rent and use, or just come in and drink coffee and really get my business off the ground.
Yeah.
I didn't know these resources were here. Well, if we have a week where we're bringing you to the resources and they're breaking down everything to do, and you're getting that time to ask your personal questions and interact the way you would in like a graduate school class, that kind of intimate interaction where you're really learning and building and taking notes and understanding.
Yeah.
Well, then once that's done, you have an understanding of how to be successful and what to do. But there's also a level of accountability that comes with that. Because once you've gone through it, you can't say, I didn't know how to do these things, and that's why I didn't do them right. We want to be able to hold people accountable from a city standpoint the same way that we're held accountable. But it's not a reasonable expectation to hold people accountable when you don't know that you've given them all the knowledge and all the information for them to have an equitable chance at success.
Right.
And that's really what this is about. People don't often understand the difference between equality and equity.
Yeah.
And they're very different things. Equal means I give you this same share as I give this person, and you do with it what you will. Equity is understanding there are some information avenues and networks that you haven't had access and privilege to. So I can give you these same things, but you don't have an understanding of what this is or what to do with it. So I have to make sure you have an understanding of what this is and what to do with it.
Yeah.
And then I can give you the same thing as somebody else. And there's a reasonable expectation of what your outcomes will be.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about, is from a city standpoint, making things more equitable for people to have a chance to succeed. Now, we're also working on a small business symposium that we would like to do this year, where it's for all small business owners and nonprofit organizers. So that way nobody's getting left out.
Yeah.
But in the spirit of equity, from what we've seen, there's a higher frequency of minority small business owners and nonprofit organizers who are running into these hurdles in working with the city than we see from other small business owners in these certain situations. So we're trying to make the situation equitable, but also we haven't forgot about the non-minority small business owners that also need assistance and need help. Because I don't ever want it to be confused that we're doing things for one group of people and we're leaving another group of people out in the cold. Because that's not equity either. But it's a matter of, hey, this was the most prevalent need that I've seen over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
How do we make this happen? And it's also rare to have a boss like Mayor Busher who's just like, that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Take it and run with it. I'll support you in any way you need to. Let me know how I can help and what you need. But who won't micromanage how you go about it and put it together, and just put the trust in you. You know, as a black man in an administration, in a position of authority or power in the city, it's very reassuring when you can do something for people who look like you, who feel like you, who you have a connection with culturally, and you have someone who has hired you and put you in this position to give you the support and say, I trust you and what you can do here. And I'm not going to hinder what you're doing. I'm going to support you. Like, that's very important, because that's what I'm trying to do for minority small business owners and nonprofit organizers. Say, I'm in a position here where I can give you the tools, and then I don't need to micromanage everything you do. I can trust you. I can support you because you went through this program with us. I know that you're educated on what you need to do. I know you're going to be successful when you put the work into it. What other ways do you need for me to support you? Hey, here are these other programs through Innovate Springfield, through the Chamber of Commerce, with CAP 1908, with SBDC, that now that you understand the basics of everything you need to know, you can really tap into and utilize. That was a big part of me putting this together. Is I drive past CAP 1908 every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're right down here, right down South Grand. I drive past it every day. And I'm like, more people need to be utilizing that resource.
100%.
More people need to be utilizing Dominic Watson as a resource. How do I get people prepared so that way when they're in classes at CAP 1908 or they're trying to utilize that space, they can be as successful as they can possibly be?
Yes.
How do I say, hey, there's so many resources over here at Springfield Urban League. More people need to be working with Dr. Marcus Johnson. Well, let me make sure that they have the education in the things they need to know so they can most optimally utilize the resources that are over here at Springfield Urban League.
Yeah.
None of the things that we're trying to do here at Office of Community Relations gets done without our community partners. But also, I know people have an interaction where they went to work with a resource in the community, but they don't feel like they really understood what was being talked about. They might not ask the questions. They might not raise their hands. They might not say, I don't understand. Can you explain a little bit more in depth? Because culturally, you don't want anybody to look down on you like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So this is a program where we say, we're going to assume that you don't know anything about anything we're talking about. I don't care how long you've owned and operated your business, how long you lived in Springfield. We are going to assume that you don't know anything and break everything down on the most basic level. So that way, no question is a stupid question. Nobody feels anxiety or insecurity in asking a question because we're assuming you don't know anything. Not because you're stupid, but because if we start from the basics, even a question you might not know that you need to ask, you might learn throughout the process, hey, I should ask a question about this. If we assumed you knew it, how would you know that you need to ask that question?
Right.
That might be a hurdle that you run into. That's a barrier we're then creating by making assumptions about how much you know. So we want to break it down at the most basic level for everybody, so that way there's no anxiety, there's no insecurity. Everybody can raise their hands and ask questions. And the reason we have these as 2-hour sessions is, a presentation from a presenter may only take a half an hour to an hour. But then you get opportunities to split up after that into groups of, hey, these are more experienced business owners. These are newer business owners or people that haven't started yet. Now you can ask questions specifically to the track that you're on, the level that you're at. And so once you've gotten all the same base knowledge, you can get the information that's a little bit more specific to your level of expertise in your field. And you're in smaller groups with more people who are on a similar track to you, so that way you're asking similar questions. But nobody's getting talked over, nobody's getting left out, everybody's getting what they need. And then you ask, well, what does the city get back from this? We want the feedback of the people who participated. How do we make this better? How did this benefit you? How did this help you?
Yeah.
How was this specific part of it a waste of your time? And you didn't need that. Why? Because that helps the next business owners. But also that lets us know as a city, hey, we need to do a better job with these processes of making them easier to understand for people. If everybody's working the program said, this really helped me understand this process from this city agency, well, then we need to turn around and have pages online that say, this is the way that we explain these things more clearly, so that even people who aren't going through the program can sit and say, oh, that makes a lot more sense now. We can improve our efficiency and improve our equity for everybody through the feedback that we're getting from people, through the buy-in that we're putting into the community. Well, how does this help us economically? Well, if we have more minority businesses that are sustainable and have longevity and are able to grow and expand based on, the information and knowledge they've learned through this program, well, then that's businesses that aren't closing. That's economic development that's going back into our communities. That makes our city more attractive to outside investors and outside companies, because they say, hey, there's a possibility we can either start a business here or expand a business here to Springfield, and it can be nourished and developed and grow. And we can hire people from Springfield because they understand what we're doing here. Hey, here's what we're doing with Innovate Springfield. Well, I know since Innovate Springfield is connected to UIS, and I'm a business owner, I'm looking to expand, I should really be looking at these grads from UIS who are here and saying, I should hire you to help my business grow. Well, now we're keeping more young people who are learning here in Springfield because they have the opportunities to learn and grow and show what they do. There's just dominoes that continue to fall. But that first domino has to be bringing equity from a city standpoint to our minority business owners and nonprofits here to help that grow. It benefits everybody when we make sure that there's equity for everybody. And that's what we're trying to do.
Are there any specific qualifications that need to be met to take the classes, or age range, or anything?
Are you a minority? Do you own a business? Or have you thought about owning a business? Would you like some information that can help you? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no cost to anybody. The only thing is we want to keep the class size somewhere between 15 and 30 people.
Gotcha.
So we keep that intimate environment. Now, if we get more than 30 people who are interested and sign up, whoever it is after those first 30, we've already talked to our partners. We'll run this entire program again this year, whether it be in the summer or early in the fall, so nobody's missing out. If there's that much interest and it's helping people that much, it doesn't cost us anything to do it again. And that's what we'll do. If we don't have as much interest the first time around, we'll take the people that we do have and then get feedback from them. And hopefully the impact that it makes on them encourages more people to sign up and want to be a part of it. But as many times as we need to run the program is how many times we'll run the program, because it's a benefit to the people, it's a benefit to the city, it's a benefit to the community. But putting barriers in place for a program that is meant to remove barriers seems illogical, and I'm a very logical person. So I'm just like, let's not add barriers to the thing that's supposed to remove barriers. So are you a minority? And that if you're a woman-owned business, a female-owned business, you're also a minority-owned business and are eligible for this.
Gotcha.
So it's not a race, creed, or color thing. There's a number of different factors that make you a minority.
Yeah.
And you want to help build business and grow and be sustainable here in Springfield. We're all one big community. So that's it. Do you have a business? Do you want to start a business? Are you marginalized in some way, shape, or form? Can you benefit from this? Give us just call the Office of Community Relations or email my office coordinator, Sean Rydell, and give us your name, the name of your business, contact information. So cell phone number we can contact you at, your email, and a description of what your business is and what you're hoping to accomplish or achieve. That's it.
Got you. And you mentioned Innovate Springfield and other places. Will there be, for lack of better words, field trips to those places, or will everything be at?
So the first 4 weeks that we're doing will be at our community room at Station 6. That's 2121 South 11th Street.
Gotcha.
Because those first weeks will be, the first 3 weeks are city agencies, and then Springfield Urban League is week 4, which they want it to be at the community room, be here in the community. When we do the week for the Chamber of Commerce, that'll be at the Chamber of Commerce building in their conference center. When we do the weeks for UIS and Innovate Springfield, it'll be at Innovate Springfield. So that way, you're not just hearing about the resources, but we're taking you to the places you can see where you're supposed to be, you're interacting and becoming familiar with where the resources are. A lot of people drive past the resources every day, but they don't exactly know what's in that building. What can I do? What are the spaces and opportunities? Horace Mann Building is one of the most recognizable buildings in the city of Springfield. But until you actually go in it and go up to the Innovate Springfield floor and you see all the opportunities that are there, it's hard to have a real perception or a real perspective on how that can benefit you as a business owner.
Yeah.
So let's bring you there. You can have meetings in the community room that's run by our office at Fire Station 6. It's only been around for a year. So not everybody knows what that space looks like, how it can be utilized, how you can contact us to use it. It's also free to book the room in that space. So it's another resource that is a low barrier or no barrier resource that can be utilized that you would drive past every day and maybe not even realize it's there. Yeah. So let's bring you to these resources. So when you're thinking about what can I utilize, what do I need? Oh, I remember that I went here on this day with the Springfield Minority Business Institute, and they told me how I can use this. Well, I've met the people that I need to call in order to book the room. I don't feel nervous about doing it. I don't feel anxiety about doing it because I've networked. I know you now. I've built up this business relationship with you and anybody else who was there. Well, me being a part of this program, you've also talked to other people and other businesses about the fact that I took this program. I can start building up relationships with some of these bigger, more established businesses to be a subcontractor for some things that go on, to work with them, to cater for them at an event, to get my name out there, to have that advertisement, that networking. It all works in a big symbiotic relationship, but it also shows Springfield is one big community and we argue about our differences all the time. We have a very long memory here. And I like to say, if your granddaddy walked a nice old lady across the street, their family will remember that forever. If he didn't put down his coat for her to walk over a puddle, they will remember that forever. But that doesn't mean you're not neighbors.
Right.
That don't mean you don't go to the same church or the same temple. It don't mean you don't shop the same grocery store. Doesn't mean your kids don't go to the same school.
Yeah.
So we're still all one big community. Let's give something that the long memory of Springfield will say, I remember what this program did for me. I remember how the city invested in me as a business owner. I remember how the city invested in me as a community. I remember all these community partners and organizations who invested in me. Now I'm investing in the city. Now I'm investing in the kids in the community who are here.
Yeah.
The dominoes all just continue to fall. But somebody has to make that investment in equity. And it has to be the people that are held accountable by the people.
Mm-hmm.
We as a city government are held accountable by the people for providing opportunity and providing equity. Well, this is the first step in a lot of steps to try to provide a more equitable situation and more chances for people to succeed. And it's nice to be able to give that opportunity for people who look like me, to people that look like me, by someone that looks like me, who was put in that position and supported by someone who doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
Because everything is possible. This whole situation is a microcosm of what Springfield can be, will be, where we'll grow, and where we'll get to. This is just the first domino to fall in us getting there.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Would it be potentially a every year thing?
It's definitely an every year thing, but if the interest is high enough, it might be a twice a year thing. It's
Gotcha.
that really depends on the enthusiasm, the participation of the community, what feedback we get. It may be if we have a lot of interest this year, it might be twice this year, and then there might not be as many businesses next year that need it because we had so many businesses do it this year. So then it goes to a once a year thing. But the point of this program is for it to be sustainable and have longevity and be here long after me, long after this administration and the next administration, because you don't want to provide equity and then all of a sudden it's taken away because it wasn't sustainable to have that program in the first place.
Yes.
That's the whole point, is this being sustainable and it being consistent. We want not only the business owners to see that, but we want the kids in the community to see that.
I was just gonna say, I talk to high school kids sometimes, and some of them are ready, and they want to know information now how to start their own thing. So that's cool that there's no age limit, there's no stipulations. Anybody can do this, because I feel like once people know, they'll take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I remember when I first moved to Springfield, one of the first people I met when I was here was Everett, who has Applying Pressure. Like, my kids wear his apparel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's a really dope thing. But I also go to Southeast. I go to Landfair. I go to Springfield High. I go talk to the Alternatives to Assets kids that work with Dr. Erica Austin. Like, and there's so much potential there. But in order for that potential to be cultivated, they need to see that their hometown, their city, is going to invest in their education that gets them to where they want to be. Not just education in general, but I am interested in having my own business doing this.
Right.
Can you teach me how I navigate this field? Can you connect me with other people and other resources that look like me or that don't look like me that will help me succeed in this, help me move forward? That's the type of investment that keeps our young, bright kids in our community. That's the type of investment that keeps them engaged and wanting to buy in school. That's the type of investment saying, hey, we have a connection over here at O'Shea Builders. Hey, come do some shadowing work with Public Works or with CWLP, because your business you might want to do is, hey, I want to get into the trades and then I want to start my own carpentry business. I want to start my own plumbing business. I want to start my own business as an electrician. I want to be useful with my hands and always have a job and something that I can do. Great. Let's connect you with the organizations and resources here that you need to be able to do that. Just because of the type of business you want to have or be in or run doesn't mean that you're disqualified from being a part of this. Great. We want everyone who has all different types of businesses so we can connect you to all different types of resources. But then that helps because it shows you can succeed in no matter what your business lane is going to be, if you have this base level of knowledge of how things work and these opportunities to network that are here in Springfield. They just might not all be on your side of town. Well, let's bring you to different places in town that you don't normally go. Let's bring those people who live in different places in town to you. Well, now it doesn't seem so strange to go from the east side to the west side or the north side to the south side, because I know who I'm going to interact with and who I'm going to talk to. And we're talking business. And I'm a business owner, and I'm a businessman or businesswoman, and so are they. And here's the business and networking connections that we have. We're not that big of a city. You can get anywhere in 15 minutes. But it seems like you're going to a whole nother land, a whole nother place you've never been, if you're not used to operating outside of that 5-6 minutes it takes to get through your part of the city. Cool. Let's get the different parts of the city talking and interacting with each other more so than they do already, and see what happens.
Yeah.
We have a ton of business owners who are over on the west side or who are over on the north end. Let's bring them over here to a Boyd's to get breakfast. I love breakfast at Boyd's. Let's have them come over here for lunch at Carter's. Because I bet you once they have that fish at Carter's, they're going to want to come get that fish at Carter's all the time. Yeah. Oh, we want some barbecue. Hey, come over here to PT's. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like staples when you're on the east side that you're by every day. You eat that every day. Okay, well, there's some stuff that I don't know that I want. Well, what can I go to the west side? Hey, it's a Dave's Hot Chicken over there. I've never been over there. Yeah. Hey, some Raising Cane's over there. I've never been over there. Yeah. Hey, Portillo's is over there. Let me go over there real quick. Let's have a business lunch and a meeting. Great. Yeah. Let's do that. But it doesn't feel so foreign or different when you've now met the people, you've networked, you're comfortable. It's not personal, it's business, but it's also expanding our community. I'm a big picture guy. I see a plethora of opportunities and growth and development for our community that are coming. I just want to do my part in helping to facilitate how we get there. I don't care about the credit. I don't care about well, I know Director Posey did X, Y, and Z. Who cares? Mm-hmm. Did it benefit you? Did it benefit your kids? Did it benefit your neighbors? Did it benefit our community? Great, let's do that. Like, there's a lot of people who get mad about who's getting the credit for what, and then it stops the progress of our entire community growing. Who cares about the credit? Like, the growth and the longevity and the sustainability is what keeps the community around long enough to talk about who did it in the first place. Yeah. And if it's around for a really long time, it will outlive the memory of who did what. And that is success. That is growth in the community. That is what you want. So that's what we want. I just want to help the first domino fall. And then I hope dominoes keep falling continuously and endlessly long past me and my kids and their kids and their kids, because that was successful. That it made sense. Or at least falling long enough that we get to a place where there's so much equity that we don't need programs to create more equity because we have destroyed the inequity that was there in the first place. That sounds like success to me.
Me too.
Like, make things so equitable that the inequities no longer exist.
100%. Put that on a shirt.
Look, I don't have the artistic skills, but look, I bet you that there's a young minority entrepreneur who does have the skills to put that on a shirt, put it on a hoodie, put it on a bag, put it on the side of your car, put it on the side of a building and paint it.
Right.
Or print it, or sketch it, or sculpt it. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do any of these things, but I can make sure that I give them the tools that I know what business to call when we need it done.
Right.
That's the key.
That's awesome, man.
That's right.